Hello, and thank you for joining us for this encore presentation of one of Viking's most special itineraries. Our friends at Cruise Travel Outlet look forward to building the trip of your dreams. And at Viking, we look forward to welcoming you on board. Enjoy the show.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining Traveling Virtually with Viking. Before we get started, I would like to give a special thank you to our travel advisors who invited you to attend this presentation today. Additionally, please note that our virtual chat and question box is open, so type those questions in as we go. We'll answer them during and after the presentation. And now, without further ado, I'd like to welcome John Jerkovich, our Viking Director of Business Development for the Pacific Northwest. John has been in the cruise industry for over 30 years and has traveled the globe on over 200 cruises. He says his favorite cruise he's ever been on is the cruise we're about to talk about today. John?
Hey, Michael, thank you so much. And everyone, thank you very much again for coming and joining us. And thank your travel advisor for bringing you to our event, because they are such a wealth of information to work with, and we rely on them quite a bit. And we want to make sure that if you see something that you like, that you go to them, and so they could research it more and do the bookings for you. I'm very fortunate. I grew up in a travel family. My mom was a travel agent. We now call them travel advisors, I think a little bit more common now. But my mom was a travel agent, and she liked putting together groups that would travel to Europe. And especially she would do the holiday theme. So she'd usually get a priest to organize it, and then a lot of parishioners from her church that would go. So we were always tagged along to make sure that everything went correctly. So I've been lucky enough to go to a lot of these cities and to experience them and to take part in the Christmas markets. Now, we were doing it by coach and going through each city by coach and checking into hotels along the way. But you'll see that it's very convenient when we do it by river. My parents were big shoppers. they love to shop. So we learned very early that you always had to bring a secret special suitcase to bring home the items, because there was just so much to buy for. So let's begin by going through a little bit of what Viking's all about, as well as some of the itineraries and ports that we visit. So you're not going to want to look at me the whole time. So I'm going to stop the video and have our screen ready here. So I did mention that a lot of times people were traveling to Europe in the past, and they were visiting many cities along the way. And it was recognized by our founder, Tor Hagen, that they loved these trips. They were visiting these towns by coach and checking into hotels and dining at local restaurants. And he felt that we could do something very similar on river cruising. So Tor is a pioneer of river cruising. He really invented the river cruising market as we know it today. We're quite expansive now. We started out very small in the late 90s. We actually started in Russia, but now we're on several rivers in Central Europe, the Mekong, the Yangtze, the Nile, the Douro River in Portugal, several rivers in France as well. But the love of cruising has led us to the Christmas markets, because we run these itineraries regular all year long. It does get wintertime, it does get cold, but these are amazing ports to visit, and there's the charm of the Christmas markets that people seek especially. And so, yes, it will be different than if you cruise in the springtime. Things are a little bit more alive and living, and you've got more lush greenery. You are hitting wintertime when we do the Christmas markets. But there's something very special. Nothing generally stops. I mean, everything keeps going on as the regular day goes for cruising. You're still going to be able to see museums and palaces and cathedrals along the way, still being able to take part in the shore excursions that we provide, as well as the optional shore excursions. But it's the nighttime that's very special when you get to go to these Christmas markets. So just a little bit about them. The decor is very special. Each city has their own special decor. You'll be able to sample items that are traditional, cookies and cakes, definitely baked fresh. Sometimes they're baked right at the market. There's beautiful cobblestone streets that are illuminated with the holiday lighting. You'll see carolers along the way. If you're lucky enough, you'll actually see snow-capped castles along the river. I know when I did my Christmas market cruise on the Danube, we actually actually did hit snow, and it was spectacular to be in Vienna when it was snowing. And it's very special. These items that people buy at these Christmas markets, they're not things that you find everywhere. They're definitely things that people had created throughout the year with the idea of selling them at the Christmas market time. And generally the market season runs from right around Thanksgiving, our time, through the holidays. It follows the Advent calendar. So, it has been getting a little bit earlier as the popularity has increased. There's musical performances, tree trimming. You'll see lots of local people out there shopping. The people that are working the different booths are very happy to help you. And again, they're very proud of these items that they're selling, because a lot of times they crafted them themselves. So everybody's in a pretty good mood. What I loved about it especially was the fact that you really felt that you weren't part of a tourist attraction. These were locals out there shopping. This is how they spend their time during the holidays, getting gifts for their loved ones and their friends. So it's very, very special in that regard. Sure, there are people that come in from out of town, and there are people that come off the various ships, but you are going to be with the locals, and you're going to be able to get these really neat, one-of-a-kind things. And just a word of advice: if you find something, you need to really look to buy it right then and there, because the chances of you finding it later or finding a booth that also sells something like it, you're gonna drive yourself crazy if you try to do that. So that's my little tidbit advice. You see something, you love it, you buy it. You can keep moving on. But if you try to go back to that same kiosk or stall, it is a little bit tough. Now, people will talk about the different markets. Some of them are more famous than others. People will talk about the largest markets or the oldest markets. Everybody has their favorites. Nuremberg is one. It's available on our Romantic Danube itinerary. It is one of the largest markets. Again, the handcrafted items. Regensburg, also available on our Romantic Danube itinerary. Just look at that beauty of that town square, all decorated with the lighting and the different kiosks surrounding the church, and also the local stores you'll find that have specials as well if you're a shopper to take part in. You'll also, as I mentioned, be able to try traditional foods. This is where you'd find the Lebkuchen, which is a honey-sweetened cake. They're delicious. My German is probably not the best, but it's spectacular to try. We feed you very, very well on board the ship, but something about being in that atmosphere and seeing these locally baked items is just really intriguing. Go for it. If you want to try a sausage, they're going to be available too. You'll see everybody walking around and dining on these different things. Glühwein. Now, glühwein is a very traditional item that you find in the markets. It's a mulled, spiced, warm wine, and it makes shopping a lot easier. So if you're shopping during the colder period and you're all bundled up and you want some inner warmth, I suggest glühwein. Now, glühwein also kind of helps open up the pocketbook. So I know I like to shop, but when I was out having a couple glasses of glühwein or cups of glühwein, I definitely was buying a little bit more than I should have. I came home from my Christmas markets cruise and I gave everybody gifts because I had overbought. And people were looking at me like, why did you buy this? And I'm like, I thought of you. but so try the glühwein, try some of the holiday cheer. The warmed roasted nuts are amazing to try along the way as well. Vienna, this actually has several different markets. It's a big enough city that there's different squares that have traditional markets. Again, I think we found that they had kind of the corner on the ornament market while we were there, but they also had a lot of hand-carved items as well. So just again, if you see something you like, make sure that you get out there and you look to buy it then and there. Budapest. As I talk about my very first cruise, I was fortunate that we started in Budapest, and we did the sightseeing that in the morning. We went all around the town. Viking does include a shore excursion in every town. We did the thermal baths in the afternoon, which is a very traditional thing for the locals to do. And then at the night, we went to the Christmas markets. And it actually was my favorite. Of all the markets I've been to, there's a Roman influence to the history of Budapest. And we went to where a blacksmith was creating items right in front of us. And they were recreating items that they had found in the city. As the city was built, they unearthed these items. One of them was a pair of scissors that was all in one. They didn't have two sides to it. It was all in one piece. I still love those. I still use them. And then also a very interesting fastener that people would fasten their cloaks, or they'd fasten scarves with. And we learned from the person at the blacksmith that these were actually a weapon that they could use, because it was forbidden for common people to have weapons. So they had this brooch that had the center pin that could be extended. So if they were walking around in the dark and they felt nervous or something, they had this little bit of a piece to help them feel a little bit more secure. But that was really the cool thing about this market, was that everybody will talk to you about their things that they create and what inspires them, and it's a craft that was been a lot of times handed down by family members. Again, the food is amazing. You definitely need to try something while you're walking around. These sausages look great right now. Of course, it's lunchtime right now. Strasbourg, a food town, especially. When we were there, we did a walking tour, and we went to a gingerbread shop. We went to a macaron shop, a cheese shop, a wine shop. Definitely, it's a foodie town, but also known for items of purchasing as well in Strasbourg. Just another picture to show the decor that they go into, the authentic decor that you'll see as you're visiting these different towns along the rivers. This particular itinerary for Strasbourg is found on our Rhine getaway, as well as our it's our itinerary of Paris to the Swiss Alps. That's a rather new itinerary for us. One of the largest Christmas markets that you'll find is in Cologne. It's centered right in the center of town, right near the cathedral. Again, handcrafted items, one-of-a-kind things to purchase, wonderful food that are traditional of the holiday season. And Berlin. Berlin is also new to us. It's one of our more popular and newer itineraries. It's called Christmas on the Elbe. And it is actually selling out. There are a couple itineraries in 2021 that have already sold out, because this is a brand new itinerary for us. Wittenberg, Germany. Again, you can actually, part of the shore excursions that we do in this particular town, you can actually follow the footsteps of Martin Luther, who is the founder of the Protestant Reform movement. And you have a chance to do that on a shore excursion during the day, and then visit the night market, the Christmas markets. Dresden, Germany. Now, this is the oldest Christmas market known out to travelers. There's an area called the Streetzelmarkt. And then again, my German is not the best. Streetzelmarkt, I think that's pretty close to what it is. But again, it's the oldest Christmas market known out there. Prague is also, look at that beautiful scenery there with the snow-capped buildings and the hills off to the side. Definitely puts you in quite the spirit, puts you in the holiday mood. I like to joke with people, because if you've ever seen one of those corny Hallmark movies, and they run them a lot now, but they're usually run at the holiday time, and the town is all decorated up. I think they're decorating those in July, so you could tell those poor people are filming that when it's pretty hot out, but you kind of get that sense. You give that whole spirit of decor, of people coming together to create something kind of magical. This is authentic stuff. This is not Hallmark stuff. This is definitely authentic stuff. So this is in the Czech Republic, in Prague. This is also on our Christmas markets of the Elbe itinerary. There are other things to do, again, throughout the day. There's actually, Czech Republic is really well known for classical music. Mozart chose to premiere 2 operas in the Czech Republic, Don Giovanni and La Clemenza di Tito, which is the Clemency of Titus, which is, again, a Italian opera. and it was performed at the Estates Theater, which you could actually, I believe that we go to that exact location. Basel, Switzerland is also one of the Christmas market ports. This is found on the Rhine Getaway. And it's also a unique fact of this is that Basel happens to be the home location for Viking's European headquarters. So this is where a lot of Viking a lot of the Viking planning comes from this particular city. It's known for the arts. So if you are looking for something definitely hand crafted, if you're looking for something more on the art side of things, very unique, this is the right town for you to start your cruise in. Again, the traditional food, make sure you save a little bit of an appetite. The gingerbread is amazing. All the different cookies, phenomenal to try along the way. We also bring it back on board the ship as well. So you're going to have a chance to visit these wonderful ports along the way, take part in shore excursions throughout the day, visit the markets at night. But we also have a lot of decor on board the ships. We do holiday music. We do a tree trimming party, gingerbread decorating workshop. So you kind of mix with your fellow cruisers and have fun while you're making gingerbread houses. A baking demonstration. On my particular cruise, all the chefs created their traditional holiday cookies recipes from either their moms or their grandmothers. And then we had to figure out who had the best cookie recipe. And we let everybody win because they were all amazing and they were all traditional. We didn't want to offend anybody's grandma, but they were all wonderful. And we got to watch them create that. And the best part was tasting that. We do a holiday traditions about what holiday traditions of Europe are like, sing along in the main lounge, and then a Christmas quiz as well. So we get you ready for the holidays. We get you in the spirit right on board the ship as well. This is them taking part in the gingerbread house class. This is our finished product. Pretty spectacular. I'm not sure if the guests made that. I'm pretty sure that the galley staff made that one, but maybe the guests had something to do with that as well. But it's pretty fun to watch the experts do it. So we're going to talk a little bit about the itineraries where we offer these different Christmas markets. There's really only a couple that we do. These are regular itineraries that we do throughout the year, our Romantic Danube, our Danube Waltz, Rhine Getaway, Paris to the Swiss Alps. Again, we're doing these pretty much year round. Christmas along the Elbe is kind of a unique itinerary, and again, that's rather new for us. But there are particular itineraries. What you want to do if something is piques your curiosity, you want to make sure that you contact your travel advisor for more booking information and booking details, because they're going to be able to line you up with just the right itinerary, the right category of the ship's staterooms, the best pricing. So make sure that if you are interested that you talk with your travel advisor. Our Rhine Getaway, it's our 8-day itinerary from Basel to Amsterdam or vice versa. You could take it in either direction. We do offer both directions during this time frame. 8 ports, 6 guided tours. So every time we're in a port, there is a guided tour visiting 4 countries. The Romantic Danube, again, 8 days, 5 guided tours visiting 3 countries. The same idea, Budapest to Regensburg or Regensburg to Budapest. The neat thing about this particular itinerary is you do a lot of overnighting. You spend 1 night in overnighting in Budapest, another night overnighting in Vienna, and at the very end of the cruise, spending the night in Regensburg, or vice versa if you start from the other direction. The Danube Waltz, Budapest to Passau, 8 days, 6 guided tours visiting 4 countries. I love Bratislava. That was, to me, a spectacular port to visit because they're kind of up and coming in the Christmas market side of things. They've learned from probably all the sister cities along the route that the Christmas market's very important. So they're really building their supplies and creating. When we were there, they were really known for creating these beautiful wreaths out of fruit and nuts and different. Garland, spectacular, and we were allowed to bring them home. Well, at least I think we were in, because we did. So we brought ours home. But a really neat city to visit. Something we did that was really fun when we went to Linz, we did a bike tour in the snow. We didn't think that we were going to be biking because we signed up for something and it was snowing and we're like, they're not going to come pick us up. They came and got us, and we biked. It was fun. It did let up a little bit, but a lot of people there were about 12 of us that did it, and everybody was on the back of the ship waving to us, thinking we were crazy going biking in the snow. But it was kind of fun. And when we got back to the ship, we were kind of famous on board the ship. And this is our Paris to the Swiss Alps itinerary, from Zurich to Paris, or vice versa. And again, this is an itinerary that we do regularly, 12 days, 10 guided tours, visiting 4 countries. And this is our new itinerary, which is Berlin to Prague, or Prague to Berlin, and 10 days, 7 guided tours, visiting 2 countries. I did check earlier today. There are some dates that are actually sold out. This is so new for us that people wanted to jump on this itinerary. But again, talk to your favorite travel advisor for more details, and for booking. They can help you sort this out. Again, visiting these trips, especially on our shorter itineraries, our 8-day itineraries, you definitely want to consider coming in early or staying late. There's wonderful extension packages that we have. Your travel advisor can help you with that, because it's a long travel to get to that destination. 8 days was just not enough time to travel from the US to Europe. You definitely want to come in a little bit earlier or stay late. And again, your travel advisor can help you with that. So I did mention that Tor Hagen started Viking. He, again, saw the idea that we could emulate what other people were doing with motor coaches. People were traveling to Europe. They were getting on the coaches. They were getting off, checking into hotels, dining at local restaurants. It was a wonderful tour, and people still do them, but this is a lot more convenient by doing it on board a ship. So they're specifically built ships to go up and down the rivers. We make sure that people have a chance to experience the history and the culture and the geography of these ports that we visit. So we are destination oriented. We're very highly inclusive. We try to include as much as we can. There might be 2 areas that need clarification, and that's tipping. We do a suggested amount for tipping. It's up to our guests ultimately to decide their tipping procedure and how much. And then alcoholic beverages. We do include beer, wine, and soft drinks while people are dining. But if it's a drink after hours, or if it's a cognac in the evening, it is by the glass. Or for easier sake, the Silver Spirits beverage package is the best way to go. It gets you unlimited drinks and alcohol. And it's available. Just make sure you talk to your travel advisor, because it varies in price by the length of the voyage. So talk to your travel advisor. But most people find it's very affordable. It takes that worry away from things. But beer, wine, soft drinks, mimosas are included. So you can definitely have an alcoholic beverage while you're dining. Very efficient operator. We try to pass our savings back to our guests whenever possible. I think one of the most popular that I hear about is by not using a credit card. A lot of times people will use a electronic funds transfer to pay for their cruise. Make sure you talk to your travel advisor about that, because there's a pricing difference between using a credit card to pay for your cruise and the electronic funds transfer. You can save a little extra by doing that. And of course, we hire wonderful staff. We have a high retention rate for our staff. They come back again and again and stay with us, many, many contracts. A happy crew member translates to a happy guest experience. We see from our reviews and from our surveys that the outgoing and the more caring of our crew members, our guests love that. So they're genuine, they're humble, they're real, they're just authentic people that come work for us. And we're very fortunate that they, again, come back again and again. That excursion we include in every port. And then in the afternoon and evening, you will have optional shore excursions you can do. All your meals are going to be made local with freshest, authentic ingredients and local recipes. Seating in the dining room is open, so you can come in and dine with whom you want, when you want. It's a good chance to meet fellow cruisers along the way. You'll meet them on shore excursions. You'll meet them while you're dining. A real community builds on board the ship, especially the river ships, because you're only looking at 190 guests. And people meet people, and then they introduce them to other people, and you go on shore excursions together. After about 2 days, you'll see very much the same people, and you'll converse with them regularly on board. I kind of already mentioned the beer, wine, soft drinks, coffees and teas are included, Wi-Fi is included, government port charges and taxes and fees. It's all rolled into the price. It's very simple pricing that we have at Viking. We are a thinking person's cruise. We are for people that are very curious, that want to get out there and explore. We give them plenty of opportunity to do so. We bring in a lot of activities on board the ship as well. So as you're in port, you're experiencing the culture of that port. We bring on a lot of lectures and historians and music and performers to also perform while we're on the ship in the afternoon and evening. And I mentioned this earlier, small ships that you get to know your fellow cruisers very, very quickly. Coming up on our anniversary, we started in the late 90s. I think we're coming up on 24 years of cruising experience. The ships are intimate and elegant, and again, we take you to the heart of the destination. We pull into a lot of the cities, and we're right there at the steps of the activities of where you want to be in these towns. You could step off and walk very easily to the attractions that most people dream about, and you're going to wake up and be able to look out and see these amazing cities as you come into port. Innovative design of our ships. There's just certain features that we have that have been patented that other brands don't have. And we're all owned and operated. It's all Viking. We have our own coaches that pick people up throughout Europe. Our ships, again, are all Viking. We work really well with hotels, and we work really well with the airlines. So we've tried to make a very seamless packaged vacation. Make sure you talk to your travel advisor. You don't have to use all of Viking's elements. The majority of people do because it's very convenient, very well priced, but it's up to you ultimately. So you can use different elements of the cruise. Other itineraries that I mentioned, we are a year-round product for our ocean cruising. Our river cruising, generally, we do take off January and February, but we are cruising generally March through the end of the year, December. So we do have a lot of different itineraries to choose from. Our long ships are our prototype for our ship. Most of our ships look like this. They're award-winning and state-of-the-art. Our fleet is very new. Something very special about them is that aquavit terrace. Other cruise lines just use that simply for storage. We've got this wonderful alfresco dining area that you could step out on and have a nice breakfast and lunch. It shares a galley with the dining room, the restaurant, which is one deck down. So you can ask the waiter for the menu and you can dine up there when the weather's great. What we're looking at this particular side of the ship is where you find most of our veranda cabins. On the other side of the ship, you would find our French balcony cabins. Most of the people prefer our veranda staterooms where you can head out and stand on your balcony and have a cup of coffee or a glass of wine. Very innovative design. We do not have a hallway that runs directly down the center of the ship. It's a little asymmetrical, so that allows us to create these two decks of veranda cabins. It's the choice that most people want when they're cruising. They want that private balcony. Our two bigger our staterooms are in the back, our Explorer suites, wraparound balconies, some of the biggest staterooms out there for river cruising. And again, 190 guests in 95 cabins, double occupancy, 2 people per cabin, 443 feet long, 4 decks high. We have to be able to fit into canals and locks and underneath bridges. So using our ships efficiently is always the key. So they're designed, again, very, very well. Our Scandinavian feel. We have our light, airy, open areas. We try to bring what they call bringing the timber inside. That's a Scandinavian design function about bringing nature indoors. So where I'm from the Pacific Northwest. We have long, dark winters, kind of very similar to the Scandinavian area. So the idea is to you don't get to go outside that much because the winters are rough. So their idea is to bring nature indoors. So you have a lot of window space, bringing light in. There's always some sort of natural element brought into the room. Light woods make the rooms feel larger. And our ships are very, very quiet and comfortable and relaxing. We'll finish off just right now with our cabins, our staterooms on board. They are well appointed. They have wonderful amenities. In every cabin, you'll find the bathrooms have heated towel racks and fogless mirrors, large glass enclosed showers, just the nice little features that you come to know on board our ships. And here's a tour of our ships really quickly as well. Our main area, our center point of the ship, this is our hub. It's our one-story atrium that goes from our deck here, where our front desk is. If you went forward here, you'd come into the dining room. If you went up that staircase and went forward, you'd be in the lounge. Very, very simple design to our ships. You acclimate to the ships very, very easy, and it's very quick to get around on board the ships. Our dining room is very low to the river, so you can look out and see these beautiful views as we're cruising, or if we're in town, look up and see these spectacular cities that we're staying while we're in port. Again, you can move around the dining room if you'd like. If you meet new friends and you want to invite them, just ask the waiter as you come in. It is open seating. They'll accommodate you and take good care of you. Our lounge, again, is one deck up. We do a lot of shore talks in here, and we do history talks in here. We do destination performances also in this area. But what you're seeing there is a dance floor, because we do have some nightlife. We do have some entertainment as well. So on my most recent cruise, we stayed up and we danced. We do have music and fun, and they don't roll up the carpets at night. We actually stay up late and visit and mix and mingle with your cruisers and fellow cruisers and talk about what you did that day and what you're going to do the next day. It's just a real camaraderie builds on board our ships, and people love that. And the person can play usually all kinds of music. Usually it's lounge music, but it's danceable music as well. This is that restaurant that I mentioned at the front of the ship. It's our Aquavit Terrace. You see the glass walls protect you from any breeze that might bother you. So you can go out there and have a nice lunch or breakfast in that area. Again, just ask the waiter to bring you the menu. And now our staterooms of wide variety to choose from. There are our minimum accommodations, which is our we're going to see first here, but they all have the same amenities that I mentioned, that those bathroom amenities, heated towel racks, heated bathroom floors, and large glass enclosed showers. Well appointed with large storage areas for clothing, closet, and drawers. This is our standard stateroom. So this is our minimum accommodation. This is on the lowest deck. You will need to go down a staircase to get to this deck. There is an elevator on these ships, but it does not go down to this deck. So 150 square feet. You see that window there. You can definitely look up and see the river, but keep in mind that you are closer to the water level, or water water line. That's where the water line when you're in this cabin. So you are partially underwater. You still can look up and see the river from this angle. The twin beds do convert to a king size bed, and all those amenities that I mentioned earlier. Our French balcony, you can open the sliding door, you can get some fresh air. You've got the railing there that you can put your elbows on. Not a whole lot of balcony to head out on. We call it a French balcony, but you've got the railing there to really kind of get you into the see the river and to see the towns that you're in. 135 square feet. Again, the same amenities that I mentioned. This is the category, when we saw that long shot of the ship, this is the category that we have most of. This is on 2 different decks. Our veranda stateroom, 205 square feet. It's got that private balcony that everybody wants to be able to spend time on. And, you know, in the winter months, we did go out. We put our warm clothes on, but we did enjoy the balcony on our Christmas market cruise on the Danube. And that bottle of wine is not there by accident. It's put there to remind us that if you are in port and you find something you like and you love and you want to bring it back to the ship, you can do so. You can bring it back and you can drink it in your cabin. You can drink it in the public area. You can bring it to dinner. It's up to you. We don't charge a corkage fee. It is all about the ports. It is all about finding something you love and maybe trying to make it last a little bit longer, bringing it back to the ship or sharing it with people that weren't with you on that shore excursion. That's what it's all about. So beer or wine or a liqueur or something that you find, bring it back to the ship. And then our veranda suite. This is a 2-room suite. This is going to be found on the side of the ship that has the French balcony cabins, but this cabin's been turned rectangularly, so it's a bit longer and slender. It does allow for us to have a balcony off the living room and a French balcony off the bedroom area. So it is kind of nice having that extra space and having both sets of the balconies in this particular cabin category. Our bathrooms are well appointed. Again, a large glass enclosed shower, fogless mirrors, and heated towel racks, so people can step out of the shower and get to, if they have to use the mirror right away, it is available to them. Our Explorer suites, phenomenal, just 2 of them on board the ships. They have that wraparound balcony. If you're a person that likes to entertain, you want to meet fellow cruisers, invite them up. We'll be having sail away where we're leaving port. Imagine being on that balcony with your friends as we sail away. Just a really nice area to enjoy. the largest suites out of most every cruise line out there on rivers, and well appointed. This is the bathroom on our brand, the glass enclosed shower that I mentioned. We like the little small details of Viking. We think they matter the most. If you look at that brand in the shower there, you see our bath products. They click open very easy, and they're very large, and they've got big bold print on them that say body wash, shampoo, conditioner, because we know people are in the bathroom with their glasses off, and you don't want to have to wash yourself in conditioner after you open up the wrong bottle. So we make it very, very detailed, and our guests love it. They love those little touches. And I get asked all the time if people can buy these products on land. Unfortunately, they are only on board the ship. So you got to cruise with us to try them. But very, very phenomenal that people talk about them all the time when they come back from the cruises. Michael, I did it. I'm back. Are you there?
Yes, I am. So we do have some questions, JJ.
Okay. I talked for 35 minutes. I hope I looks like I must not have covered everything. So let me know what people are asking.
Yes. So the first question is, are Christmas markets only at night, or do you have the opportunity to visit them during the day as well?
Oh, that's a great question. They are open during the day. You are probably going to be busy on shore tours, so that you can go. It seems like most people locally visit them at night, but they are open during the day. It seems like they just take on more of an atmosphere in the evening than they do during the day. It seems like they're kind of ramping up as the day goes by, but they are open for sure.
Great. And the next question is, haggling or bartering considered rude with these particular Christmas market vendors?
You know, when I cruise, I would say it's not the same as shopping in some parts of the world where haggling is common. I don't think the prices were that off, like that high when I was there doing these. I think maybe if you're looking at something and buying like multiple items, you might ask if there's a better price. But generally, I think people pay kind of what the asking price is for items. Again, a lot of times they're one of a kind. These people spent months creating these items. You're not going to maybe find it someplace else. So you're going to have to dig deep inside and see, gosh, is it worth it? Am I going to do it? But I'd shy away from it. I mean, I'm sure they'll let you know if they're going to consider it, but I would shy away from it, honestly.
Great. And then, if a guest is looking to experience all of the Christmas markets on a particular Christmas markets cruise, when is the safest time typically to book that cruise? So all of the Christmas markets on that itinerary are open.
Oh, wow. Christmas markets, we don't do a whole lot of marketing of our Christmas markets. They sell naturally. I generally see people starting to think about Christmas markets a year to a year and a half in advance, because there's not that many of them. As you can tell, we only have 5 itineraries. So we're only doing it from maybe 5 weeks total. So they do sell. And our ships are not that large, so they do sell pretty quickly. In the past, people generally at least a year, possibly a year in advance, start shopping for their Christmas markets.
Great. So in terms of time frame, is it typically after Thanksgiving in the U.S. to Christmas is typically when all the markets are open in Europe? What is that typical time frame?
Yes, typically it follows the Advent calendar, which is late November through the end of the year, or usually by Christmas. I think they might have some of the markets that stay open past Christmas a little bit, but I think actually they're getting to start them a little bit earlier. I think they're good at marketing now, and they know people will come. But I don't think they have the same feel if you went like mid-November as if you went in December. So I think they're entrepreneurs that figured if they start a little earlier, they'll have more opportunity to sell things, but the true time is late November through the holiday season.
Perfect. And that's it for questions. So thank you so much for your presentation, John. We really appreciate it. And I just want to thank all of our travel advisors and again, their clients for taking the time to be with us. If you have any additional questions on any Christmas market itinerary or any of Viking's itineraries, please reach out to your favorite travel advisor. Thanks so much for traveling virtually with Viking, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, Vikings. Thank you.